Welcome to Section 1, Setting up Visual Studio for Windows. In this video, we will be installing Visual Studio Community 2015 edition, downloading and installing Unreal Engine 4, and then exploring the Visual Studio interface afterwards. Let's start by installing Unreal Engine 4, because it will be faster than Visual Studio Community. Let's start by opening up our web page by going to this URL in our browser. This is the Unreal Engine web page. If you do not have an Epic Games login account, you will have to create one. If you do have one, simply select the top right where it will say login and then log into your account, and then select download. Download for Windows, and then once the installer has finished downloading into your computer, run the installer. This will be what the installer looks like when you run it initially. Select where you want it to download to, and then select install. It will ask for administration privileges. Select yes. Once it has finished installing, this will be the screen that shows up. You have to log into your Epic Games account again, and then afterwards we will be installing the Unreal Engine. Once you have logged into your account, go to Unreal Engine tab in the top left, select Library, Add Versions. It will automatically select the most recent version that it has been released for the public. If this is not the version that you have, select the arrow and it will show previous versions. For this course we will be using 4.17.2. Select Install, and it will ask where to install it and the path. Select Options, and select Editor Symbols for debugging, and then scroll down and uncheck iOS, Android, HTML5, and Linux, and then select Apply, as we will not be needing these for the course. Select Install, it will ask for administration privileges, select Yes, and then it will install to your computer. Once the engine has finished installing, if you would like to change these options you made when you started the installation, simply click the arrow next to the Launch button and select Options. Unchecking something will uninstall it, and checking it will install it. Simply select Apply to apply these changes. Now that Unreal Engine 4 is finished installing, let's install Visual Studio. First, let's start by opening up our browser and typing in this select URL. Scroll down to 2015 and select Download. You will have to be logged in with a Microsoft or Visual Studio account to download the installer, otherwise you will have to create an account. Select EXE instead of DVD and select Download. Once the download is finished, run the EXE. This will show up as your EXE, which is the installer for Visual Studio Community 2015. Select Custom and select the path of which it will install. If you are not able to, then the installer will automatically select a place for you. Select Next, and we will be using Visual Studio 2015 Update 3, and in the programming languages we will select Visual C++, and in the Windows and web development we will not be using anything, so unselect that. In cross-platform mobile development we will select C#, Visual C++, and everything in Common Tools and Software Development Kits. In Common Tools, we will select Visual Studio Extensibility Tools Update 3. Once you have selected everything, select Next. This is everything that you will have to have selected, and select Install. It will ask for administration privileges, select Yes. This will take a while. Now that Visual Studio has finished installing all of the components, we will have to restart the computer for those components to process properly. Now that we have Visual Studio installed, let's open it. Visual Studio is a text editor that has some handy features such as IntelliSense, which helps coders write code more efficiently, and many ease of use features built into the IDE, or text editor. Let's explore the interface of Visual Studio. On the right is the Solution Explorer. This is what we will use to organize our project and open other code files without opening the Windows Explorer, all within Visual Studio. At the bottom is the output window. This will tell us whether or not our build was successful. Now let's modify Visual Studio. At the top we have a tab called Tools. Select that, go to the bottom and select Options. This will allow us to edit our environment. Let's change the color theme from blue to dark, as this is easier on our eyes and healthier, as this does not cause eye strain, compared to light and blue. Select OK to apply these changes. Now let's go back to Tools and go back to Options, and we're going to edit our text editor, C++. Select Text Editor, go to C, C++, go to Scroll Bars, and change our behavior to map mode for vertical scroll bar, and let's leave it at medium, and leave the show preview tooltip checked. Click OK to apply these changes. This will allow us to move more quickly on the same page with ease. Now that we have Visual Studio and Unreal Engine installed, along with setting up and learning a bit about Visual Studio's interface, in the next video we will be discussing C++ fundamentals.